Hey guys, what's up? Hello, Professor. Hello, everyone. This is a bit of a desperate move. Practically, I'm using a phone to record the screen. A little bit silly, but it should get the job done. So hopefully, you can accept this. My name is Vladimir Pejic, part of the Soylan, Martinez, and Norris Domas group, and we did some research on China. Fascinating country, a very old country, rich of culture, and here's the presentation. Let's see if we can learn a thing or two about China, and I will share sort of what the experience was in the end, learning about China. So as far as China is concerned, obviously everybody on the planet knows China. The five topics we chose to talk about were food, education, religion, and clothing and housing. And obviously down here we have Jackie Chan. Everybody knows Jackie Chan. Hopefully you've seen a few of his movies. They're a lot of fun. As far as education is concerned, guys, China has very high standards with education. They value education. It's government, public schools, and they have a 9-grade system, sort of similar to some other countries that have 9 or 10 grades. Not every country has 12 like America, including like Germany has 10, and actually former Yugoslavia, where I'm from, has 9, like China. But rest assured, you study a lot during those 9 years. As far as food is concerned, everybody knows Chinese food, very popular across the world, and of course, to the Chinese, it's their native food. That's something they grew up on, and manners in China are very important. Table manners, so you have to not necessarily have to, but it's very common to have a speech or say something like, the French would say "bon appetit," enjoy, or sort of to show respect to the food before you eat it because somebody cooked it, and probably it was somebody in the family, like your mom or wife, that cooked the food. So you want to show some appreciation for that food, which is like art in a way too. Chopsticks, obviously famous from China, used to scoop up the food, the noodles and chow mein and other things, rice, and they're very good with their chopsticks, and they're native to them. They grew up with them, and they're very comfortable with chopsticks. And I think lots of people around the world associate China and Chinese with chopsticks because they're so unique, unlike the typical fork spoon that lots of other places around the globe are using, or hands. So chopsticks, obviously, great example and quite famous. As far as religion is concerned, China is sort of in the news for suppressing religion and minorities. And over there, pretty much, if you're not of the major religions, you're a minor, and that can be seen as threat to the government, and they don't understand it. And people there are facing discrimination quite a lot. Religious buildings, not native to China, are often bulldozed and removed. So that's oppression that I would like to bring up. But majority, are atheists, and they do not practice religion regularly, and it's more like a cultural thing over there. As far as United States, in contrast, religion is country was founded on freedom of speech and freedom of religion. So obviously, people that feel oppressed can come to America and exercise their right for religion, which should be basic. And of course, United States is much smaller than China population-wise. There's something I wanted to bring up right there. 326 million people compared to the Chinese 1.34. The world's most populated country is China. Christianity is a fairly large part of the United States, but it's home to many other religions. Hinduism is the lowest, according to research at CIA.gov, which is in the works at 0.7%. And quick fact about me, like my family, my parents, they will, escape the war back in the 90s from the Balkans, from, Bosnia. And it was, unfortunately, religious war. There were other reasons too for it, but religion was sort of like the main point used for the war. And that's one of the things that how we got our visas and we got our green cards and our pass eventually became citizens of the United States because of that, religious oppression, and we're not able to return back and live because my parents are mixed religion and it's segregated over there right now, and it's really rough for people who are just standing out, I guess. So yeah, religion is important to a lot of people, and a lot of people face oppression, and America is fantastic for people who want to exercise their right for religion, whatever it may be. Clothing, of course, Chinese clothing, famous, lots of red, lots of vibrant, happy colors, elegant silk materials, beautiful clothes. And of course, United States has also all kinds of clothes. It depends if you go to like Chinatown or Koreatown, or we're talking about China now, so let's stick with China. But if you go to Chinatown, for example, in Chicago where I lived, you will still see people, Chinese, who are dressed in their traditional clothes, and it is different and unique, but it is quite pretty. And as far as housing is concerned, obviously, you have to house 1.34 billion people, and typically almost any country it's clustered around the oceans or the water sources. So East China Sea, is housing majority of the Chinese, and that's in the east side of China. West side is a little bit more deserts and not very sort of popular for people to live in, and they are mostly just empty fields of emptiness, forests and deserts, and not populated almost whatsoever. And as far as the housing is concerned, obviously the 1.34 billion people, there's the one child policy, which is also a form of oppression, because lots of people, they want to have more than one child, but obviously the country is extremely populated, and they're having difficulties with maintaining infrastructure with so many people. So they have that policy, but it's been changed around a little bit a few years ago in 2013, but not too much. You have to qualify. Certain families have to qualify and to be able to have two children. In contrast, United States, again, 82%. Compared to the Chinese, 57% are living in like urban cities, big cities. Again, clustered United States. I'm just going to bring up United States real quick because it's a comparison to China. East Coast and West Coast, again, most of the cities, and middle is farming and not too populated in comparison. Culture dimensions are very important. China is high context, high power distance, low uncertainty avoidance, and polychronic. We'll go over that in a minute. Just some, culture dimension examples. Culture in China and family are very important, and you have to be careful sort of what you say and not insult anyone and somebody's family. And you don't want to do that anywhere you go, but in China that can escalate to worse things. So respect and family values and traditions are extremely important to many Chinese. It's a high context culture. Also, it's a balance of relationships. So being, direct can be sort of misinterpreted as being not educated enough if you're too direct or rough on the edges. But China is a big country, and there's all kinds of people, and some are rougher on the edges, some are not. So it's good that at least they have all kinds of people there, being themselves. The high uncertainty avoidance means like there's a hierarchy going on. You have to sort of like where you stand in a society and work, and how dare you cross the boundaries and challenge the authorities. So it's very sort of authority driven society, and the government too, of course. Let's talk real quick about the low emotional display. Public display of emotions is uncommon and not accepted in China because it's about the collective harmony. It's a very collective society. High power distance, so like inequality. So pretty much for the greater good, they believe that like minorities or people, pretty much what does not affect the majority is not too important, because obviously the majority will probably not care too much how the minority may feel, because they might not be able to relate to their lives, which I can understand it a little bit, but it's not right. Polychronic means interruptions are acceptable, and time is non-linear practically, compared to like Western countries like Germany. because they're very sort of linear and lots of order going on, and interruptions, are not cool because they disrupt that order. In China, there's a bit more distraction, interruptions going on, and people can be a little bit all over the place when they do things and talk. And here we go, works cited. How beautiful. I hope you enjoy looking at this works cited slide. And that's it, guys. Hope you enjoyed this quick presentation. I just want to say thank you to my classmates who got to watch this and hopefully enjoyed a little bit. Also, I want to thank to the two ladies that were part of this group. They did a fabulous job. We all had a lot of fun learning about China, putting these together. I wish I didn't have to record it with my phone. It's a bit of a sad effort, but hey, I just want to finish it tonight. So have a good night, everyone, and see you later.